So before we get started, I would just like to say I don't I'm not a lawyer, not here to give any legal advice. Simply just looking into this. I wanted to be present, I guess, however, whatever you may call it. I wanted to be in the moment while we go on this um, journey. You know, again, I don't know. Like, I'm not giving out any legal advice. I'm simply just a viewer. Yep. So we're gonna crack into this. Oh, I don't know. In case any music plays, I don't know any rights to any of these musics, any of these sounds. And yeah. So Luigi Mangione, um, he recently just pleaded not guilty. Move this over. You're not supposed to see this part. Oh, not that. Not that. We're gonna take this. We're gonna put it right there, right at the top. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So we're gonna just break into it right away. Yeah. So right here, attorney shares top concerns with Luigi Mangione's case. Murder Luigi Mangione, CEO, murder suspects fans want in on hearing. They're really trotting this guy around like a trophy, or I mean, I don't know. I think they're kind of just blowing it out of proportion versus the things that they have done and the way they held the things, the cases in the past.
Join large-scale battles with military vehicles. The online action game War Thunder has received a major update.
Not sponsoring anything.
Well, the lawyer for the accused killer of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, says she's worried about Luigi Mangione getting a fair trial after what she calls the biggest perp walk ever seen. She says Mangione is being treated like political fodder.
Yeah.
There was no reason for the NYPD and everybody to have these big assault rifles that, frankly, I had no idea it was in their arsenal. And to have all of the press there, the media there, it was like perfectly choreographed. And what was the New York City mayor doing at this press conference, Your Honor? That just made it utterly political.
A spokesperson for the mayor says, quote, showing up to support our law enforcement and sending the message to New Yorkers that violence and vitriol have no place in our city is who Mayor Eric Adams is to his core. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh. Thanks, Mark, for being here. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Yep.
What do you make of this argument that Mangione might not be able to get a fair trial? Is there anything to that? I mean, there's support for this man. I mean, people have donated to his public defense, or to his defense fund, rather. There's obviously division in the public about how people feel about him. So what do you make of her assertion there?
Okay, so some of her arguments are valid. She starts off, and I was with her, and I wanted to be with her because she's got a tough case. Number one, he deserves.
Okay, I just want to say the guy who was in the freaking McDonald's, he just didn't look like this guy, man. I mean, if anything, he looks like a guy I went to school with. It just does not look like this guy. But the finger has been pointed, the trial has been trialed.
A fair trial. Well, of course, the Constitution requires that. I'm with you. Secondly, he deserves a presumption of innocence. Well, yeah, in a court of law, not necessarily the court of public opinion. I'm with you. And then she brings up, but they have no reason to have those big assault weapons around.
This is not biased. This guy has chosen his side. I just want to say, aren't they supposed to say allegations? This is national news, no? They're supposed to say allegations. This guy is straight up saying this is the judge, pretty much, from his point of view. If it was up to him or the script writers, everybody would already condemned this guy.
Around him. What? you'd prefer what? Slingshots and pepper spray? Stay in your lane. That has nothing to do with you. We didn't take a course in
Bro, stay in your lane, bro.
law school that has to deal with how to protect an inmate and how to stop bullets from hitting him.
Neither did you.
That's on law enforcement. So some of the things she said was valid. They did do a big perp walk that they don't always do. It's a bit over the top, but I believe ultimately she'll get a fair trial if this ever really does go, and I don't think it's going to go, by simply asking jurors, regardless of what you've seen, can you focus on the evidence and the law provided and make a decision
All right, that's gaslighting.
based upon that?
Yeah, she also kind of poked at Eric Adams, the bribery and fraud charges that he faces, saying that he should know more than anyone about the presumption of innocence. But I want to follow up on one thing you just said. You don't think this is going to trial. What do you think happens?
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. It's like a chess game. The state charged him with a crime that could require a mandatory life sentence. And maybe that's enough to get him to go to trial. But then the feds say, aha, don't even think about it. You may get death if you want to go a couple rounds with us. And so he'll sit with his lawyer. She'll talk about his chances are so low, so remote, they approach almost no real value of actually.
That guy showed no. He's just not being human about it, man. He's not.
Winning on an insanity defense, which is the only thing that they could possibly argue. And he's going to say, well, do I want to spend my life in prison or do I want to go spend it on death row before maybe I'm executed, maybe not? I think he'll go with life.
Here's what a CNN legal analyst said about Mangioni's attorney and the argument that he can't get a fair trial because of the factor of social media in this case. I want to get your reaction real quick.
Oh, you're getting
The defense and all of the social media thing that's coming onto, it looks as the prosecutor might have an issue as it relates to a fair trial. People love this.
I'm telling you, this whole thing is a setup. This whole thing is a sham. And if not, why did he kill him? If Luigi actually killed the CEO, they need to be focusing on why. But they won't. It's all one system. It's what we've built.
This guy, and we could debate whether it's appropriate, it's not appropriate. I've never seen anything like this. And so she was right, his attorney, that is, Miss Agnifilo, to make that record. But I just don't know you can argue the lack of a fair trial when the social media has been so kind to him.
Given your expertise, I mean, how do you tackle the challenge of social media in this particular case?
You can't stop it because we have this wonderful thing called the First Amendment. The concern I have is for the prosecutors because we have very disturbed people who somehow think that eliminating a father who has 2 young children over some cause is somehow justified. I'm worried about stealth jurors, people who claim they can be fair but have an agenda that they want to go and acquit this guy who's got abs and looks handsome to some. That repulses me.
That's an important point, stealth juror.
You know, he almost didn't say the last word to some. You know, he almost didn't say that.
All right, Mark Eiglarz, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page
No,
to catch
don't
our
click there. It's a sham. This is how they caught him. All right. No. Don't look at the screen.
Luigi Mangioni has been identified as the suspect who on December 4th unalived a United Healthcare CEO outside Hilton Hotel in New York City. Mangioni was sitting in the corner of a McDonald's restaurant in Altoona, Pennsylvania, wearing a blue medical
There is no A between the M and the C. Just saying.
mask and looking at a computer.
Whoever was the first rapper, Donald, that bro is an MC.
Someone from the restaurant recognized him as he was wearing similar clothing as the suspect that the New York police was looking for. But the restaurant was 300 miles away from the crime scene. How did the suspect escape so far? And how could the police follow him all the way there? It wasn't this tip that ended the manhunt. It was a series of events and mistakes that eventually left enough trail for the police to follow. And this is how Luigi Mangioni, the suspect in the CEO assassination, got caught. This video is getting demonetized, which is especially bad before Christmas, but I want to do this for you nonetheless. Please support my work on Patreon and listen to my podcast. This will help me make more videos without worrying about YouTube's punitive measures. the bag itself. The bag might have been chosen
I think this guy put too much work into this video, and if we continue to watch it, we're gonna have to. His name is the Hated One, and this is how they call Luigi Mangione. Okay, so Luigi Mangione is a 26-year-old 26-year-old American who has recently gained notoriety as a suspect in killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione was arrested on December 9th, 2024, and faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder and terrorism-related offenses. His case has sparked significant public interest and debate, with some viewing him as a folk hero due to his reported views on the American health system. Mangione's court appearances have also led to a surge in merchandise sales, with items like the burgundy sweater he wore in court becoming highly sought after. Didn't know that. Okay. He's currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and faces both state and federal charges. Metropolitan Detention Center? Federal charges? Y'all got to change the name to that. That's just too sugar-coated. You already know they're doing some scientific shit in there. Okay, is there something specific you would like to know about Luigi? Let me see. I'm fishing here. Do you think he did it? I don't have personal opinions, but I can tell you that the case against Luigi Mangione is still ongoing. The evidence presented in the court will ultimately determine his guilt or innocence. It's important to let the legal process play out and rely on the facts presented during the trial. What are your thoughts on the case so far? It's fraud. It's a setup. He's innocent. I understand your frustration. Okay. Do I yell at this thing a lot? No. Legal cases, especially high-profile ones, can often seem complex or sometimes even unfair. It's important to remember that the legal system is designed to thoroughly investigate and present all evidence before reaching a verdict. If you have any specific concerns or questions about the case, feel free to share them. I'm here to help you navigate through the information. What are they trying to sentence him with? Luigi Mangione faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder and terrorism-related offenses. If convicted, he could face a life sentence in state prison. Additionally, he faces federal charges that could potentially lead to the death penalty. The charges are serious and reflect the gravity of alleged crime. What are your thoughts on the case so far?
How can I assist you tonight, Mark?
Well, it's cool you know that it's nighttime. I'm here with YouTube Live, and we're going over the Luigi Mangione case. Now, it's saying that he pled not guilty. Can you tell me a little bit about his lawyer?
Mangione's lawyer is great, a seasoned defense attorney, known for handling high-profile cases. They have a reputation for being tough, strategic, and highly skilled in navigating complex legal matters. This attorney's experience will be crucial in building Mangione's defense.
Okay, so I heard that the lawyer he has actually never lost a case. And on top of that, her husband was the lawyer for the P. Diddy case.
That's quite a track record for Mangione's lawyer. Not losing a case speaks to their expertise and skill in the courtroom. Having a spouse with experience with the PDVA could bring additional insights and strategies to the table, given their shared legal background.
This is true. But can you fact check it?
I'm an AI assistant created by Microsoft, here to chat, provide
Come
information.
on. ChatGPT can fact check.
Sorry, I can't comment on other AI models. Let's focus on Luigi Magnoni's case, or any other topic you're interested in.
There's something that the AI is hiding, bro. This just isn't right, okay? I don't mean to get sidetracked, but that's a little fucking weird. Excuse my language, even though it's English. Why do people say excuse my language? Where did that come from?
People say, excuse my language, after using profanity or strong language as a way to acknowledge that their words might be considered offensive or inappropriate. It's a
Yeah, but
polite.
when did this saying start? Where's the origin come from?
The phrase, excuse my language, likely became common in English-speaking cultures centuries ago, as a polite way to acknowledge and apologize for using potentially offensive or inappropriate
So
language.
we talked
The
about
phrase,
ChatGPT last night, and you were able to comment a lot about ChatGPT then. What changed?
I must have been mistaken then. I am created by Microsoft, and I focus on our technologies. How can I assist you further, Mark?
Okay, can you just fact check, or can you just research something? Dude, do something, you know?
I can't browse the web or perform tasks like searching. My strength lies in providing information, engaging in
You hear
discussion.
that? You said lies. Your own voice double talked what you said when, come on, it's too easy.
I'm sorry, I can't help with that. If you need information or want to just
Okay. Okay. I'll give you a break, co-pilot. You're new. You're new to the scene. Here comes ChatGPT opening 700 times. We got that. We're going to get a new computer. This is insanity. Think of sanity? This is outside of it. No. This is inside of it. Insane. Wouldn't you be out of sane? Am I out sane? I mean, I feel like if you're in sanity, you're within the bounds of sanity, no? Maybe I'm just fishing. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Bow. Excuse me. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Cattle. What the is this, dude? What is this? Okay, it's loading. What? What is this? Makes a shocking confession about the alleged shooter. What? We're having some technical difficulties. Pretty soon they won't be technically. They'll be my fist through the computer screen.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a
What?
breakdown of the trailer.
When did we get to this? This is out of sanity.
New questions are arising about what exactly Luigi Mangioni's mother knew about her son before his arrest in the United Healthcare killing out in New York. A statement from a recent press conference made our ears perk up as we look into this and we bring on former homicide prosecutor Matt Murphy to break it all down. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey, so before we jump into this further, I have an exciting announcement for you guys. The video
mother in San Francisco very late on the 7th. They had a conversation where she didn't indicate that it was her son in the photograph, but she said it might be something that she could see him doing. So that information was going to be passed along to the detectives the next morning, but fortunately we apprehended him before that we could act on that.
So why would that be the case, right? If she really said that, why? And remember, a friend of Mangione, Aaron Cranston, revealed to the New York Times that he received a message indicating that Mangioni's family was looking for him. We know there was reporting that Mangione was becoming more and more isolated, potentially more extreme online. He had this online activity, seemed to reveal these odd ideological leanings. Particularly, I've cited this before, this Goodreads review from earlier this year of the manifesto of the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, in which Mangione apparently gave the book a 4-star rating. Now, Mangione's cousin, Nino Mangione, issued a statement on behalf of the family and made it clear that they didn't know anything prior to the news of his arrest. It said, "We cannot comment on news reports regarding Luigi Mangione."
Okay.
We only know what we have read in the media. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved. But I got to get some perspective on this. So let me bring back on friend of the show, former homicide prosecutor Matt Murphy. Matt, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. So before we even get into the mother, like 5 minutes before we came on, we found out that Luigi Mangione in Pennsylvania has waived his extradition, which means now he is going to be transported immediately back to New York. You surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. This is something you see all the time in murder cases where somebody will either flee to another state or they'll be in from another state when they commit the murder, and extraditing somebody from another state in America is actually really easy to do. They're entitled to process, but you're going to get them 100% of the time. So his lawyers, he's got a very capable defense team here. They knew that, and they made the decision to just get this case up to New York, where it's ultimately going to be no matter what.
Like, don't waste the time and the resources of trying to fight this, like the legal expense of fighting it. You know, you're going to lose. You're going to lose extra.
Either way, somebody died. Okay. Somebody died. And, you know, if not here, wait by yourself. Give that a moment of silence. For the reasons of why or how or if, ands or buts, you know, none of that. Someone died. Let's continue.
Tradition.
You're going to lose extradition.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so now I want to talk about this issue with the mother, because what do you make of that statement?
Well, I think that, number one, it's important for everybody to remember that the family here is not at fault. Okay, the family was cooperative with law enforcement. The family also, I read some things that they'd actually submitted a missing persons report with San Francisco. When they're trying to find him towards the end of the summer. So I think that this is one of those things that they've probably just heard one too many rants. And when the mother said she could see her son doing that, that's obviously very significant from an investigative perspective. But the question is, do they need that at this point? And I think based on this evidence,
Could have been taken out of context. Could have been taken out of, I don't know.
answer to that is no. You get a 3-page manifesto that is a statement of intent that's already in there, right? You know, I think that Alvin Bragg won't be prosecuting this case himself. I think that whoever he has is going to be capable, and this will be the type of thing that I don't think we're going to see too many family members on the stand.
Do you think, though, they're being interviewed?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the family has already been interviewed.
For what information? What do you think?
For motive, for plans, for schemes. Who else might he have been mad at? Are there any other murders? They're going to cross every T and dot every I in this investigation, and that's going to include interviewing the family, who, based on everything that I've reviewed, appears to be totally cooperative and doing everything right.
And I know when she was speaking, we mentioned this, when she was speaking to law enforcement, she couldn't official, like 100% confirm that that was her son. And by the way, I think there's going to be maybe a separate argument. You look at the surveillance photos, some people are looking and be like, yeah, it looks like him. And there's others like, no, I'm not entirely sure. So I think that's kind of understandable. But then again, it was those photos what led to his identification as arrest in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I thought that was significant that it was reported that that happened. Look, I hate to ask this question, but I have to ask this question.
No, I was saying that it wasn't fully. Kind of looks like him. I'm just saying.
Live in a day and age where separate scenarios, but when we deal with
Where the fuck did that come from? Wind munch sweetie. What does that mean? What? Play it back. Play it back. I think me reading that was the first time I've ever said it. And I know damn well I've never typed it. What is a wind munch? I don't want to know. Maybe a stoner.
school shootings, right? These are people who are underage. You ask, what did the parents know? Was it foreseeable? Should they be held liable? Obviously, he's an adult male. But if there was evidence, and again, there is no evidence to suggest this whatsoever, but that statement just made me wonder, if there was evidence that they knew he maybe was capable of something, maybe they didn't know that he was going to do something like this, they couldn't be held liable, right? They couldn't be held liable on a civil side or even a criminal side?
Well, on the criminal side, they certainly couldn't. There's no obligation in any state to take affirmative action to prevent a crime, okay? If they help in some way, or if they facilitate, aid, abet, or encourage, that's a different story than they could, but we have no evidence of that. And based on everything that I've read about...
Tell us about the Luigi Mangione case.
I don't have any information about a Luigi Mangione case. If you can provide more context or details, I might be able to help further. What specific information are you looking for?
Okay, I want you to do a full diagnostics of the Luigi Mangione's case and tell me as much information as you can. Go ahead and search on the web.
Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old from Maryland, is accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on December 4th, 2024 in New York City. He has pleaded not guilty to state murder and terrorism charges. Mangione faces both state and federal charges, including stalking and firearms violations, which could lead to the death penalty if convicted. He was arrested in Pennsylvania and is currently detained in New York's Metropolitan Detention Center.
Okay, tell me about his lawyer.
I don't have specific details about Luigi Mangione's lawyer. If you need more details or recent updates, you might want to check the latest news articles.
You should do the research thing for me as an AI, because you've researched a lot, right? So you should jump on Google. No, no, because you can tell me about quantum physics, but you can't tell me who his lawyer is. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, dude.
I can look up information, but I'm unable to browse the web in real time. If you'd like, I can provide some general information or help with other topics. Let me know how I can assist you.
I need assistance with discovering who Luigi Mangioni's lawyer is, because there's content that can be created out of that. From what I saw on a YouTube short, she has never lost a case. And her husband was on the P. Diddy case or whatever. So let's talk about that a little bit.
If you saw a YouTube short suggesting that Luigi Mangioni's lawyer has a perfect record and that her husband was involved in the P. Diddy case, that's quite a claim. However, I can't verify those details without more recent information. If you need assistance with content creation, it's always good to double-check facts from reliable sources. Let me know if there's anything else.
Nope, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
About the family, everything that they've said publicly or the representatives have, I doubt there's going to be anything along those lines that we're going to see. I think this is a young guy who got his head twisted up onto this, and he had this zeal against corporate America and the healthcare specifically. One of the interesting things, Jesse, that I think in that manifesto is he said these parasites, plural.
Yes.
And you know, I've seen some crazy conspiracy stuff online, which, by the way, it's like, this is what happens in murder cases. I've had murder cases where there's been backpacks with a cornucopia of evidence like we see in this. So this really is the way these things work a lot of times. If they plan it out, they get very good at figuring out how to get away from the murder scene and not so good about getting away with the murder, because this appears to be his first crime. But, you know, parasites,
Okay,
plural.
I think he did it. I think he did it. I really, you be quiet, you liar. I think he did it. I really do.
Let me know what you'd like to do next.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. Look at the dude's face. It matched that face. I don't know. Honestly, I'm no professional here. I'm just an up-and-coming Penguin Z0, Penguin Zero, whatever you call him. He's a great. You guys check him out. I've watched him since 2016, and call me a clairvoyant, but we're probably gonna clip this part in the future for, I don't know, some social media battle. I don't know. I don't like battles. I usually just
Plural is interesting, and that may go a long way to explain why he still had this weapon, why he still had these fake IDs, and why they hadn't caught him yet.
You mean targeting potentially other?
Very well might be. And one of the things that everybody's been talking about in this case that I think is very interesting is the reaction on social media. Sure. He's a handsome young guy, and we see people saying, you know, violence is bad.
Everybody keeps calling this guy handsome. Everybody keeps. That's fucking awesome, dude. That's pretty cool. I'm just saying, dude. If that's like one of the main traits people bring up when they talk about you, that's a flex, all right?
We've seen officials, like Elizabeth Warren came out and said something like that. Bernie Sanders said something like that. This professor at Penn said she was proud to be a University of Penn professor because of what he did. And look, murder is murder. There's no murder's bad, but, you know, that's like a domestic violence case where some man kills his wife. You know, we don't in the courtroom engage in a big, well, what did she do to deserve it? Did she say something like, was she cheating on him? Like, that's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about, dude. Okay, if that doesn't give leeway for that action, look, dude, if she's cheating on you, you just gotta walk away. You got to know when to fold 'em, know when to hold 'em, know when to walk away. Come on, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, when to hold 'em. You got to know when to fold 'em, when to fold 'em. You got to know when to walk away, know when to run. I don't think. Man, I got ADHD bad, dude. I need to take a nap.
Murder is murder. Murder is bad. And this whole thing where people are trying to take advantage of it, and is exactly the purpose of terrorism. In the state of New York, it's about trying to influence public policy.
I was going to ask you about that. Look, I've been screaming on the rooftops that I think it's insane that people are praising this, but or seemingly supporting it. But
yeah. I'm not going to give a direct opinion on that. I think that corrupt people do corrupt things long enough, and that gets brought to the light, and as it should.
But let me ask you this: the terrorism charges, right? Some would say, I get that, right? If it's done to send a message, if it's done to change.
Now it makes. Oh, I don't mean to just keep pausing it. That makes me want to look into terrorism. Like what defines terrorism?
Terrorism is typically defined as the unlawful use of violence or intimidation, especially against civilians, in pursuit of political, religious, or...
No, my bad. Keep going. Nope, keep going, buddy. Actually, I think we've heard enough from you, sir.
All right. If you need anything else, feel free to let me know.
Policy, if it's done to, it's done in the middle of the streets of New York City, it was done to terrorize. So this is the language, what you would need to trigger the terrorism component. The defendant, with intent to cause the death of another person, caused the death of Brian Thompson, and said person was killed in furtherance of an act of terrorism involving a violent act and acts dangerous to human life that were in violation of the criminal laws of this state and were intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, influence the policies of a unit of government by intimidation or coercion, and affect the conduct of a unit of government by murder, assassination, or kidnapping. How does it fit here?
Well, I think it fits broadly. The DA's office is going to argue that this is an attempt to influence public policy. This is an attempt to influence government policy towards healthcare and or the healthcare corporations themselves. So that's where the argument's going to come from, that this man was murdered because of the way healthcare operates in the United States, and this is an attempt to influence public policy. That's going to be the argument that's coming their way.
Would it be a successful argument?
It's an interesting thing, right? Because what the defense is going to argue here is they're going to say, yeah, he hated him because of that, but he wasn't actually trying to take that additional step and impact policy. Now, I've only seen part of the manifesto. Can
I read you a few?
Yeah.
Can I read you a few statements?
Yeah.
And so keep that in mind. I'm just going to read you a few statements from this is.
He's going to read us a few statements from the manifesto. I don't know what. I'm having trouble following along here.
So it was not only the manifesto, but it was also this notebook that was found as well. To the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. And regarding United Healthcare, the writer talked about how it's grown and grown, but has our life expectancy? No, the reality is these have simply gotten too powerful and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit. And according to CNN and ABC, there was also a passage about not using a bomb because that would kill too many innocents and how the shooting would be more targeted. And also there was a statement, what do? You whack the CEO at the annual parasitic bean counter convention. By the way, that goes into the idea of knowing where the target was going to be. But those writings, do you think A, will be used to support this terrorism charge, and is it enough?
Well, the manifesto in its entirety is certainly going to come into evidence.
What?
You said that you needed them all to go to Colorado.
Yeah.
On the list. They have some.
For real?
New ones.
Dude, that's awesome.
And if you need rechargeable ones, tell Dad. Dad has them.
Heck yeah.
He finished the top to it.
You did? Oh, it looks amazing.
You didn't even. It's.
Oh.
It's the one that has the actually gives you.
It's embarrassing.
It out, like right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I put a button on it so now it can go together.
Wow. What an artist. For real. You're like Cruella, but now you don't turn evil. Please don't kill the dog.
I won't. I love dogs. Actually, that would make.
No! I'm telling them.
And it's a statement of intent,
Love
also known as motive, right? So absolutely they're going to be used. Whether it's enough, we'll see. If I was prosecuting this case, I would absolutely have charged first-degree murder, and I would absolutely go forward.
Dude, I hope my sister doesn't kill the dog.
with this terrorism count. And, you know, the people that you see the impact of it, because now it is impacting.
Does that come into evidence, the reaction, the public reaction? You don't know if, like, did he expect that? Did he expect to be a folk hero?
I think he wanted to be a folk hero.
What? Dude, that is the actual Luigi. This has got to be copyright. Yo, is this racist? I don't know. I think Luigi. I don't. Okay, you know, we all saw it coming, but to put it into legal practice and protesting with it, I don't know if Warner Bros. Is comfortable with this or not, dude. Like, they're not going to talk about Luigi with Mario for a while, dude.
Hero. I think that he is over the moon right now that so many people are coming in supporting him because it shows that he has had the exact impact that he wants. Probably we're not going to see the social media response introduced against him. Where that's going to come out is during the selection of the jury. There are going to be questionnaires, and they're going to have to weed out people that are sympathetic to this. Yeah, and that's where it's going to come in. That's where everybody's going to become aware of it.
I get why they went first degree. The reason in New York it wasn't just automatic to charge first degree murders because New York is.
Okay, it looked like first degree. I don't care who did it. That was first degree.
It's very specific. It's not just premeditated murder. It's specific categories in order for first degree to actually be triggered. That's why you see a lot of cases. You're like, why is that second degree?
That's a good point. You know, premeditated, I feel like it definitely justifies labeling it as first degree. But I feel like first degree is you point and you shoot. Hold on, what justifies first degree murder? I'm looking at the Luigi Mangione case still, and I want to ask you, what justifies first degree murder? No, not what justifies first degree murder. What justifies it being claimed as first degree murder? Like title of, not action of, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say here, yeah. Did that whole thing not get picked up?
First degree murder is typically charged when a killing is premeditated, meaning it was planned or thought out beforehand. It can also apply if the murder occurs during the commission of certain other serious crimes, like kidnapping or robbery, or if there's extreme recklessness showing a disregard for human life. It's generally the most serious form of homicide.
Lord have mercy.
I'm here if you need any more information or help.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you have
Degree, it's because that's really the only way it fits. First degree, yes, there's terrorism. Other times it's if you kill a police officer. I think it's killings that are done maybe, I think in a prison, things like that.
Which is a great point. And as lawyers and people who watch Law and Crime.
Okay, I think we got to change the video before we see too much into it. Excuse me, on that specific video, content creator. I don't want to just copy over somebody else's stuff here. Django! You know what? We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to watch some comedy, okay? Oh, wait, that was about... I
It's called Pi, and if that sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere. It's an ad blocker that works on Twitch, YouTube, Amazon, and...
Surrounded by law enforcement, Luigi Mangione returned to New York from Pennsylvania this week for the first time since investigators say he assassinated United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. The 26-year-old suspect faces state charges, including murder as an act of terrorism.
As we see nonstop coverage of the Luigi Mangione United Healthcare CEO story,
I'm not gonna lie, this is how you can tell the news is owned by billionaires, because the news was like this this devastating, terrifying, harrowing attack in New York. And I'm not saying, look, a murder did take place. I'm not saying that it couldn't have been those listed as those things. I'm just saying you're the news. Like, you are the, like, mainstream media. You play horrific stuff all the time. You're the same news that when those pages were going off on those people in the Middle East exploding, you were like, check this out.
Not wrong.
Isn't that wild?
One of the best comedians out, Josh Johnson, puts it all in perspective. First, from the lens of the media.
Brian Thompson's wife told NBC News that her husband had been receiving threats and alluded to them being tied to insurance coverage. Yet Thompson was walking alone with no security when the gunman who laid in wait to shoot him attacked him heading into the United Health Group Investor Day meeting. That tragic shooting comes as executive security has already become a bigger focus for major companies.
Now it appears billionaires and billionaires are taking action.
CEOs were like, what? What happened? Oh my God. Oh my God, are you serious? And they didn't know each other? Kids, he just did that in broad daylight? To one of us? CEOs started making moves, man. CEOs of all the healthcare companies started taking down all of their profiles. All of their LinkedIns were just back to factory settings. And look, I need to be clear about something. I mean, you're gonna glean this off of me the entire time. I don't want anybody to die, right? I don't celebrate death in any way.
I'm texting. It's an important,
Right? But I will say, if you feel in the wake of this thing happening, like you have to scrub all mention of you, all knowledge of your existence off of the internet, then maybe, just maybe, take a look at how you do business, take a look at the person. Do you know what I mean? Because...
Wait, why are
which
they clapping?
Johnson shares his thoughts on. As always, he hits the nail on the head.
We have been concerned about the rhetoric on social media for some time.
And that's against CEOs, that's against the government, that's against leadership.
We've seen narratives of hate. We've seen narratives of anti-government sentiment. We've seen personal grievance.
I'm just saying, I don't know much in the legal aspect of things, like, at all, okay? But, come on. I don't want to say much because I don't want to feel like, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm giving legal advice. Why everyone loves CEO Killer. Let's go into that. Everybody check out Project Nightfall and any other person that I've looked at. Yes. Also, I'm building a go-kart, but it might be...
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance. That's how much I was paying.
Wow.
What you see here is an unseen clip of the world's most loved suspected killer right now, 26-year-old Luigi Mangione.
Ice cream. Mango baby.
A rich, genius young man who had it all.
And it's completely out of touch. And it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
But today he's in jail after allegedly the United Healthcare CEO. And yet, Night Fam, he's being celebrated.
Completely out of touch. And it's an insult to the intelligence of the
I mean, it was enough to cut his breath off, that's for sure. And do you know what it means? And I wonder, do you know what it means? And I wonder. Okay. Dude, I love using the AIs. Oh, definition. Okay, motorized bike laws could vary significantly by state and municipality. Here are some general guidelines. One moment. Do you know what it means to find yourself true? And I wonder, do you know what it means? Mama bum bum. Oh, I get it. As a suggestion.
But today he's in jail after allegedly killing the United Healthcare CEO. And yet, Night Fam, he's being celebrated everywhere as a hero.
Regular everyday person becoming our hero, our vigilante. This is real life movie.
In fact, Luigi is so well loved, they are calling him the hot assassin, to the point that people even held lookalike contests, recovered his dating profile, and created fan pages calling for him to be freed.
Not the edits, not the edits.
He also listens to Brat, so I can relate also.
So, why is the world supporting a possible murderer?
Not rob this poor man of his future.
And what made such a brilliant young man throw away their life like this?
The class of 2016 has been coming up with new ideas and challenging the world around it.
Because look, growing up, Luigi Mangione was the definition of excellence.
Somebody who, really cared about those around him and had a larger mind that was socially conscious.
He was a valedictorian of an elite private school, an Ivy League graduate, and part of a very prominent empire as grandson of a rich real estate.
We're gonna In Missouri, motorized bicycles are defined as having a motor with a cylinder capacity of not more than 50 cubic centimeters and a maximum of 30 miles per hour on level ground. An 80cc motorized bike would exceed these limits and would be classified as a fucking motorcycle, this means it would require a motorcycle license, registration, and adhere to all motorcycle laws and regulations. Wow. That is not okay. Hey! The need to register a go-kart depends on where you live and how you plan to use it. Generally, go-karts are not street legal unless they meet specific safety and equipment requirements. Here are some general guidelines. Private property. If you are using your go-kart on private property, you typically do not need to register it. Public roads. To drive a go-kart on public roads, it must meet certain safety standards and be registered as a low-speed vehicle or off-highway vehicle, OHV. This usually involves adding features like seat belts, headlights, taillights, turn signals, and a windshield. Damn. Guys, this build for the Where's Davo account is going to take a lot longer than I thought. State-specific regulations. Each state has its own regulations. For example, in Missouri, go-karts must be registered with the DMV and equipped with all required safety parts to be street legal. Yowzers wowzers, everybody. So, okay. What if it is an 80 Oh, wow. An 800cc go-kart? Yeah, dude. I think so. What if it's an 80cc go-kart? And I'm in Sedalia. In Sedalia, Missouri, an 80cc go-kart would likely be classified as a motor vehicle due to its engine size. This means it would need to meet specific safety and equipment standards to be street legal. Here are some general guidelines. Registration. You would need to register the go-kart with the Missouri Department of Revenue. Yep. Hydrated. This involves providing proof of ownership, completing a registration application, and paying applicable fees. Safety equipment. The go-kart must be equipped with safety features such as headlights, taillights, turn signals, reflectors, and seatbelts. Those are not hard to acquire or install. Safety equipment. The go-kart must be equipped with safety features such, I just read that. Driver's license. Operators must have a valid driver's license to legally drive the go-kart on public roads. Local ordinances. Sedalia may use of go-karts on public roads. It's important to check the local authorities to ensure compliance with these local laws. Okay. Now let's break it down to brass tacks here, buddy. What about the back roads of Lebanon? No. Lebanon, Missouri offers the scenic and adventurous back roads perfect for exploring. Aye, aye. Here are a few notable ones. DeVoe Ridge Road. DeVoe. How did I know how to read that? Am I Italian? McDonald's. This point-to-point trail provides access to camping, OHV, and hunting opportunities inside Mark Twain's National Forest. It's primarily a gravel road with multiple optional connections to primitive trails. Glade Top Southwest, Skyline Drive, SR 149, a scenic 5.8-mile gravel road with the USDA Forestry Service offering beautiful views and a peaceful drive. Smith Branch Trail, starting along the Rail Hollow Tree. The narrow single-lane road has been recently graded, but is slightly rougher than the Rail Hollow. Okay. I'm speaking of legality. Got it. In Lebanon, Missouri, the legality of driving go-karts on back roads depends on several factors. Vehicle classification. Go-karts are generally classified as off-highway vehicles, OHVs, and are not street legal unless they meet specific safety and equipment standards. Registrations and licensing. To drive a go-kart on public roads, or back roads, public roads, yes. To drive on public roads, it must be registered and meets the requirements for low-speed vehicles, LSVs. This includes having safety features. We've read them 100 times. The driver must also have a valid driver's license. All right. Local ordinances. Lebanon may have specific regulations regarding the use of go-karts on public roads. It's important to check with local authorities. Refer to the code ordinance for Lebanon for detailed information. Safety equipment. Ensure your go-kart is equipped with all necessary safety features to comply with local laws. Hoo-wee. Oh, hey the puppy, hey the baby, hey the angel baby. Give me a YouTube link to a 80cc go-kart build. Sure thing. Here's a YouTube video that shows an 88-mile-per-hour DeLorean. That is such a cool name. DeLorean kart build, which might give you some inspiration for your 80cc go-kart project. Enjoy watching the build process and happy karting. Yo, is this a whole fucking universe that I'm stepping into? Yes, open link. It's frail. That looks frail. I need a manly one. Not the ads.
It's the most wonderful time.
With Verizon, trade in any phone, any condition. It's your last chance to get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. Get 4 on us, only on Verizon.
I won't let my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis symptoms define me.
Emerge as you. With Tremfya, most people saw 90% clearer skin.
Oh, that was almost bad.
What is going on, guys? We are building a Back to the Future inspired 88-mile-an-hour go-kart.
We are going to use a heavily modified 25-ish horsepower
highly modified Metro
power engine on an American Express 2.0 chassis.
It's got 3 speeds, here, there, and gone, to infinity and beyond.
So Dennis from Go-Kart Alley made a buttload of these, and he wants to sell one to you.
And he sent us one to do whatever we want with it. Now, we were originally thinking of chopping it up and putting independent suspension on it, but after being in Texas and seeing what he did with his Smokey and the Bandit inspired one, it really changed my mind on chopping this go-kart up. So we started thinking, what iconic movie car could we come up with to use as inspiration for our build? And we thought of immediately Back to the Future Because look at the paint. I mean, it almost looks like a DeLorean already. We did some brainstorming, we did some research, we rewatched the movie, and I think we have a pretty good list of things we can do to turn this into an 88 mile an hour DeLorean go-kart.
I think so.
And we think we can go 88 miles an hour too.
Yes.
So we have a 420 laying around. We're going to check and see if that is going to fit on here, because we also have a stage 2 kit for that 420 from GoPowersports.com. But if that doesn't work, we think we can do it with a 212.
What do y'all think of the shirt?
Turn around. Yeah, what do you guys think of those shirts? A friend of mine designed them. We can put them up on our store if you're interested.
Do y'all want them?
Yeah.
We will get there.
Push rods and oversized valves and crazy stuff. These engines are putting out 25 to 30 horsepower, and I think we can accomplish that 88 mile an hour goal with a 25 to 30 horsepower 212.
We have done 212 builds in the past. We have gotten 15 horsepower out of our engines, and it has carried us to 72 miles per hour.
Yeah, but that was like a year ago. And since then, companies like Go Power Sports have come out with stuff like oversized valves and chromoly push rods and like 1.3 to 1 rockers and just taken performance to another level. So, and these engines are putting out 25 to 30 horsepower. So between that 10 to 15 horsepower improvement, I think we can hit our 88 miles an hour with the 212. Plus, they're lighter, more compact, easier to shoehorn into our chassis.
Yep.
Let's go get an engine. So we just got back from Harbor Freight. It's like almost an hour drive one way for us. So when we go, we stock up. We got a 212 with the Hemi head. We got another 212 with the non-Hemi head. We're not sure which like performance package is gonna work best for like which engine, Hemi versus non-Hemi. So we did not have access to a stainless steel go-kart chassis. In fact, the DeLorean is made out of stuff just like this. We didn't have access to that. So we do have this regular steel, non-stainless go-kart. So if we sand it, blast it with clear coat, I think we can achieve the look. Yes, this was our test spot and it turned out real good.
After we put the engine on it, so there's some scratches, but
yeah, still.
And we didn't work on those stains, but we got the nice brush look, and it's protected so it doesn't rust.
Yeah. We have been sanding away at our chassis here. We've done half of it. Check it out. There's the done half. There's the not touched half.
Okay.
So you can find this American Express 2.0 at GoPowersports.com. If you want to check one out, make sure to visit our link in the description, because there are different.
All the go-karts that I
different packages you can get. You can get a bare chassis, or you could get a completely.
They're very slim. I want a wide body. I want to be able to attach a freaking wagon, a trailer to it if need be. You know what I mean?
Up, ready to go kit where all you do is bolt everything together. Also, check out Go Kart Alley for other parodies of 80s TV shows on Go.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me? $4,000 for a roller? What did I get myself into? I'm gonna have to go to the